I've noticed recent changes in the way game companies have handled their diversity and inclusion, partly in response to recent scandals such as the Activision Blizzard company culture scandal and lingering problems such as Gamergate. How do current game companies handle their diversity and inclusion, and what are the special challenges unique to the industry that have been encountered?
Just slinging fastballs, no priorities. Just taking for Pandora's cup of tea. What's up with me? Nothing free. Laying low at the coffee house with the family and a few banana beats. It's chill.
Hello, I am Lyndon Killam. I am a game design major and I am likely to start a game production company. There are several possible topics related to game design, but this is one that is most current and most currently in the minds of people who are not connected to the industry. Other communicators can learn about the problems relating to working conditions in the game industry and can learn about efforts to improve those working conditions. The video game industry has often been thought of as a white male-dominated industry, and company attitudes have often reflected that. But these attitudes are shifting, and there has been backlash to changes. The Gamergate harassment campaign was one example of this. In 2013, game developer Zoe Quinn made a game called Depression Quest, which led to unfounded accusations of an improper relationship with the reviewer of the game. This widened into a general harassment campaign against women in the video game industry and other targets, which prominently included feminist game critic Anita Sarkeesian and developer Brianna Wu. Gamergate is generally regarded as not only a low point in the gaming industry, which was criticized for its shallow response, but also as a blueprint for major targeted harassment campaigns online in general. It was also a starting point of the rise of the alt-right. While the reaction to Gamergate was less than stellar from game companies, it did prompt a rethinking of the industry. It sharpened focus on indie game developers and highlighted the fact that there are many underrepresented people that play video games. A recent object of focus, however, is the case of California Department of Fair Employment and Housing versus Activision Blizzard. In July 2021, this department sued Activision Blizzard, the makers of World of Warcraft, Diablo, and other prominent game franchises, for management practices that created a hostile workplace culture for women. The company initially denied the accusations, but later that month, company employees staged a walkout and demanded that management take these allegations seriously. Most vividly, in the reporting on the lawsuit, the executives of Activision Blizzard were members of what might be called a bro culture. Specifically, the lawsuit contained references to World of Warcraft developer Alex Afrasiabi's hotel room at BlizzCon 2013, which was nicknamed the Cosby Suite, in apparent reference to sexual assault allegations against Bill Cosby. Although, another possible source of the name was the resemblance of the room's carpeting to Cosby's ugly sweaters. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has been implicated in the scandal for allegedly knowing about the poor company culture and reports of sexual assaults against employees and not doing anything about the situation. The game industry is made up of private companies, large and small, that experience unique advantages and challenges. But these examples highlight the importance of maintaining a focus on diversity and hiring the right people, and in maintaining workplace control. A key challenge in the recent past for the video game industry is overcoming its image as an unwelcoming space for women, minorities, and LGBTQ. Like with many industries, this is changing. According to Shira Chess and Adrienne Shaw, about half of game players are women, but female employment in the game industry lags far behind that figure as of 2014. An interest in gaming is also tied to an interest in science and technology-related careers, which have often struggled to attract women, and so this issue is important in that arena as well. Of course, there is considerable overlap between game development and other science-related fields. Hiring managers should seek out less commonly considered avenues for recruitment in order to reach women, LGBT, and minority candidates that might otherwise be overlooked. In 2022, Activision Blizzard hired Kristen Hines as their Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, which was apparently a new position. Another facet of this issue is maintaining workplace control and being responsive to the needs of employees. Workplace culture can be difficult to manage as the size of an organization increases, but there are many resources and examples on maintaining a positive workplace culture. A good way to do this is through leading by example early on and through establishing and empowering an effective human resources department. The problem of discrimination in the game industry is also connected to the problem of overwork in the game industry. Crunch time is the overwork of employees involved in making a game. Crunch time is common in the final weeks and months before a game is released in order to complete the fixes needed to meet deadlines. However, game companies sometimes schedule crunch time as a matter of policy, well before it is required in order to save money. Crunch time has been found to reduce employee creativity and productivity in the long run, however, and it is a direct reason that workers leave the games industry. Crunch time has to do with discrimination in the games industry because workers are often under pressure to perform and can be subject to unusual demands in order to prove themselves. This leads to the perpetuation of poor workplace cultures and work schedules that are disadvantageous to women, and it leads to disadvantaged employees needing to work unrealistic hours to prove themselves. To avoid crunch time, it is important that managers understand that crunch time is unhealthy and at times counterproductive, and use it sparingly if at all. The use of crunch time is another thing that seems to be improving. Owen Mahoney, the CEO of Nexon, a major game publisher, had this to say in a 2021 conference call with investors. Quote, "Crunch mode is one of the most pernicious problems in our industry. The charade of launch timing serves little purpose except this dance with equity analysts. Instead, the right thing to focus and push for is a game that blows people's minds. If we achieve that, the game will last many years, and the revenues will dwarf what we would have made by launching a quarter or two earlier. So rather than giving you a date, this team is going to give our customers and employees a commitment to make the best game we can as soon as we can." Unquote. Video games have a huge market share in entertainment that is only expected to grow, and reaching new audiences will be a key to staying competitive in the future. It is still unclear what long-term effects the controversy at Blizzard will have. Microsoft is in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard, but it has run into stumbling blocks due to antitrust actions by the United States and the EU. The industry is trending in a positive direction, but only time will tell how quickly it reaches where it needs to be.
So I'm dressed in whatever best fits.